Trudeau survives a revolt. This is the Great White North Report. Hey, welcome back to the channel. So over the past few weeks, Trudeau has faced more and more calls within his own party to step down, as polling from 338 Canada elections has the Conservatives way ahead on their website. In fact, the Conservatives should form a majority government if there was an election now. Of course, a lot can happen between now and next year if the Liberals maintain their hold on power with a minority government. Remains to be seen. But the Liberals went through a tough period right now. They had a caucus revolt and a revolt within their party ranks. Something like 24 MPs in the Liberal Party called for Trudeau to step down because people are tired of Justin and his message. Inflation has gone up through the roof. The cost of housing, the cost of food, the cost of fuel, the rising crime, the irresponsible immigration policy, which exasperated a lot of this stuff, and just the left-wing socialist rhetoric. Trudeau's foreign policy has been a joke. We're still at odds with the CCP, which is good, but we're at odds with India now, which is not so good. But India is kind of being a jerk at the same time. Our military is in shambles. We give money to every beggar that comes except for our own, it seems. And it's just one thing after another. So Trudeau said that he's not going to step down. If anything, he's going to fight, because he does love the accolades and the attention that he gets. Most leaders do. There's no denying that. Obama loved to hear the roar of the crowd, and Obama was a snake oil seller. So Trudeau said on Thursday that he's staying on as leader even after 24 of his own MPs signed a letter calling on him to step down to try and save the Liberal Party from electoral ruin. I think a lot of Liberals realize that with him on board, they're going to go down. It'll be another Kim Campbell debacle. And it'll take 8 years for the Liberals to rebuild themselves. Probably less. So, speaking to reporters at a press conference on the federal government's plan to curb immigration, which they started in the first place, Trudeau said he's not going anywhere despite demands from some MPs that he'd leave by October 28th. They're giving him a deadline. Isn't that around the same time that the Bloc gave a deadline to get so many things passed? So the Liberals are panicking. They're scrambling right now. And I don't think there's anyone they have in the wings who could step up, because Chrystia Freeland was being groomed as a successor, and she's just as much disliked as Trudeau. Chrystia Freeland, for her economic policies. Melanie Joly, however you pronounce her name, I know she's a possibility, but again, she seems to be the best of the bunch, definitely the cutest. So Trudeau went on saying, as a party, we've always had a robust discussion about the best way forward. We'll continue to have them with me as a leader. Who talks like that? First of all, I don't even think he was picked as a leader, so he didn't have leadership qualities. He was picked for his name and his face. That's the only qualities he had when they chose him to run against Harper, because they needed someone young, fresh-looking, with a name. And Trudeau had that name. He had that nostalgia. I never picked him to lead a country. He's out of touch with most Canadians. He's never had to go through what most of us have had to go through. So many Liberals and a few have heard from their own constituents saying that they want Trudeau gone. They're just tired of the constant yapping. So these Liberal MPs issue a deadline to Trudeau: make up your mind to stay or go by October 28th. Now, it's a small number of them, a small minority of MPs, but the feeling is becoming pretty mutual as the polling data looks more and more grim for the Liberals. There's a small minority of Liberals that aren't even going to run in the next election because they know they're going to lose. And there's some that are running next election who know they're going to lose and they're worried about their cushy little jobs. So for weeks, anti-Trudeau MPs have been meeting in secret to convince caucus members to band together and push him out of the top job to save the party from electoral ruin. And after 9 years, Trudeau's popularity has plummeted. The Conservatives have a 19-point lead over the governing Liberals at a margin that suggests dozens of Liberal MPs could be out of a job after the next vote, just like I said. Some 24 Liberal MPs have signed a document calling on Trudeau to go. Well, if they want Trudeau to go, what they should do is declare themselves to be independent and take support away from him. That's what they could do by October 28th. They could declare themselves independent. That would hurt the Liberal Party and definitely trigger non-confidence. Now, MP Patrick Whaler read a letter to Trudeau today during the party's caucus meeting on Parliament Hill, laying out the arguments in favor of the Prime Minister resigning now. And the letter included a demand. Trudeau should make a choice October 28th. Okay. So none of the cabinet ministers, because the cabinet ministers are, they got their... Trudeau's the one that picked them. He can also get rid of them. It's not like the United States where they go through a confirmation hearing, I don't think. So none of the cabinet ministers stood up to urge Trudeau to rethink his pledge to stand as leader. And one of them said they didn't think they put an ultimatum on the table. That shows they had a great deal of resolve here that was unanticipated. So there's a rebellion going on within the Liberal Party, but they don't have anyone who's going to take their place. That's the problem, until they don't have anyone. Now, the Prime Minister cried as he told MPs about the toll his long political career has taken on his 3 children and his wife who left him. He hasn't really had that long of a political career. When I think about it, he spent he was parachuted into a riding. I think he spent 3 years as the Liberal minority leader before the next election, and then he spent 9 years, so 12 years. Poilievre, he's already 20 plus years. Trudeau emerged from the meeting. His only comment to the reporters was that the Liberal Party is strong and united. No, it's not. It's fractured. So 3 of the MPs were Newfoundland's Ken MacDonald, Prince Edward Island, and Sean Casey, and New Brunswick's Wayne Long. So those 3 areas are East Coast, which is the Liberal strongholds, and now they're in danger of losing them. Actually, I'd be more impressed if those 3 Liberals were from the inner city Toronto, because the urban areas are where the Liberals get a lot of their seats. The Conservatives dominated the rural districts in the last election, while the Liberals and NDP took over the urban areas with a couple of, off ones here and there. So MacDonald told Power and Politics he and the other dissenters have also discussed voting against the government if there's another non-confidence vote, and they don't see evidence that Trudeau and his team are taking their concerns seriously. Poilievre is just waiting for this. Put your money where your mouth is, because that's what I just said not too before, that they could easily declare themselves to be independent and go and leave the Liberal Party and vote non-confidence. It's a possibility. MacDonald said it's not something he would do, but the PM has to start listening to people, and you have to try and get people back on side. Well, getting rid of that carbon tax would have been a great way to go, but Poilievre has been hammering you about that for years now, and to do so would make it seem like Poilievre pressure you to do it. So you have other concerns here. Poilievre's message is resonating throughout Canada. Common sense. It's not quite like Make America Great Again Trumpism, but Poilievre does have a good message of common sense, axe attacks, good slogans, because you need those, something to remember. But other Liberal MPs are staying with Trudeau for now, and we'll see. So some of them are definitely downplaying it, but Trudeau definitely needs to change his tune and do something fast, because they're going down sinking. And already a few of the rats are leaving the ship. Remember, when the ship sinks, captain's got to stay on. So there's also another petition circulating that calls on caucus to force a confidence vote so that Liberal MPs and the party's national executive can have a chance to vote on the leadership question. Petition says that if Trudeau fails to secure enough support in that vote, the party should pick an interim leader and launch a leadership race to be completed no later than June 1st. Called Project Code Red. What, not Order 66? It was organized not by MPs but by some young Liberal members and former staffers. The very survival of the Canada we have built, and with the benefit of your sound judgment, will continue to build, is now at stake, the unsigned petition says. Yeah, you built a Canada that's not, where Canadian nationalism is in tatters. We have people in our streets calling death to Canada. Yeah, this is the Canada you guys built through your reckless immigration policies and high inflation rates. We are now a leftist Canada. We're a joke in the world. Thanks a lot, Liberals. I think I used to vote for you guys when Chrétien was in power and Paul Martin. I think I only voted Chrétien, though, because I didn't like the idea of the GST tax back that Mulroney brought in. And look what happened to that. Alright, so all you Canadians out there, let me know what you guys think. Should Trudeau stay or go by October 28th? Do you think he's going to be gone by October 28th? I don't think so. And who do you think should replace Trudeau as the leader of the Liberal Party? We'd really love to hear that one. Leave comments in the comment section. Until next time, this has been the Great White North Report.